again, it's on.
Ladies and dudes, welcome back to Opinion Nation. Only certain people will hear the frequency. If you can hear it, that means you're on to something. If you can't hear it, you can go in the back of the line. Welcome back. Once again, you see your peoples are here. Supremo is right there. Your man's Mickens, Kendo, that is right there.
I'm here.
Cronus the Ill, which means Saturn, the mean, is right there. And last but not least, until some other cats flow up in here, your man, that's not true. TTT Hasamako.
What up, guys? What's up,
bro?
Scholars.
Yeah, you know.
We are scholars now, homies.
Well, listen, we all attend Hassan U. Come on, HU. This is how you do it. HU.
Y'all funny.
You know what I'm talking about?
We are all scholars up in this biatch.
Well,
what's your favorite word?
An informed opinion can be scholarly. An informed opinion shall be scholarly. Let's get right into the topic, man. Let's not hold them up. For a couple weeks now, Professor Kendo Mickens has beckoned to have a Jean de la Z. That's not even a word, but I just made that up. With Hassan. Now, what do you mean? What does he want to? Well, he said, Hassan always has different. How do we say that? How do we put it? How do we narrations, different narratives, different kinds of ideas about the universe. And Kendo has said to me more than several times, I think we should have a Hassan show. I think we should have a complete Hassan show. No, it should be just an Hassan show, like where he just says stuff and we ask him about what he's talking about. In the spirit of those requests, today's show is one that our friend Hassan should be well versed on, and we will go to him as somewhat of an authority, an opinionated authority. The topic of the day is the Anunnaki. Oh my, what? No, wait a minute. The what?
That's the shit.
Gesundheit. No, I said the Anunnaki. Now, Brother Cronus is down there. Got his mic muted. Are you cool to speak with us right now, Brother Cronus?
Absolutely. What up?
Well, hey man, the definition of Anunnaki, Wikipedia that is a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, and Assyrians and Babylonians. And the earliest Sumerian writings about them, which come from the post-Akkadian period, the Anunnaki are deities in the pantheon, descendants of An and Ki, the gods of the heavens and the goddess of earth. And their primary function was to decree the fates of humanity. They should not be confused with the Apkalu. Don't confuse the Anunnaki with the Apkalu. All right, we're talking about the Anunnaki. All right, make no mistake about that, right? Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the Apkalu?
It's called I messed it up at first. The Apkalu. Don't get the Anunnaki confused with the Apkalu. Okay, so we're not talking about the Apkalu. We're talking about the Anunnaki. So, yeah, niggas is giggling. See, this is funny, man. Niggas is giggling and shit.
Nobody giggling.
Like, hold up, man. We're not going to accelerate the show because we got other forms and ideas of things that are as interesting So let's listen to the Anunnaki session.
Can you read that again, because
Okay.
some of that stuff that you read is profound, because we don't never hear about this shit. It's very profound about what you said when you read the stuff, because it made
Which
me
part is
think very
profound?
deep.
I mean, okay, well, it says that the Anunnaki are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. In the earliest Sumerian writings about them, which come from the post-Akkadian period, the Anunnaki are deities in the pantheon, descendants of An and Ki, the gods of the heavens and the goddess of earth. The primary function was to decree the fates. Their primary function was to decree the fates of humanity, should they not be confused with the Apkallu. Don't confuse them. All right, so the Anunnaki.
Does it say what it mean? Does it say what it mean by decree the fate of humanity? What does that mean?
Man, we know what words mean around here, though. We can do that.
I mean, we know what words mean, but what is that function? What is that?
Listen, their primary function was to decree the fates of humanity. Like, that's a pretty profound thing to see. Yeah, he's right, actually. Like, if that's true, like, we need to know who these folks are. They're decreeing the fate of not just like a neighborhood of folks, like West Philly, of humanity.
But this is
the Anunnaki. This is the Anunnaki we're talking about.
Those are Marvel characters. You know that, right? From that show. What's that show that they had?
The Eternals?
Not the Eternals. There's another show that that melanated woman that was on 227 was in. What's that show that she was
Jack
in?
A?
No,
Sister,
not the
Sister.
other one. No.
Oh, all right, my bad.
This is what Kenny means when we get off the beaten track. We are now on Sister, Sister, and Jack A. Check this out. The etymology of the name Anunnaki is derived from An, the Sumerian god of the sky. The name is variously written Ananu, Ananukinu, Anana, meaning princely offspring of An. Okay, that's the etymology of Anunnaki. All right, so this ain't just, if niggas is thinking like, oh, this is just somebody made this up like 15 years ago. Nah, it's like, and there was a scientist, he's dead now. I heard about him back in the early 2000s. Remember this dude, Hassan? His name was Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah, Stitchens. I think so. Stitchens. Yeah, Stitchens. Yes.
Yeah. And he really did give somewhat of a detailed presentation on the Anunnaki back in the early 2000s. You remember that?
I remember.
It was like on the internet. So Hassan, we come to you, okay, as our resident alien, one of them at least. Talk to us about the Anunnaki. Well, first of all, I got real questions. We're not going to just let you, you're not just going to freestyle out here. We be all out in the Kuiper Belt before we know it. Hassan, who are the Anunnaki?
The people who came from Nibiru, Sirius B. They came from another star system called Sirius B. Another star system. Sirius
B?
Yes, homie. Another so-called came from another star system. They also came from Saturn.
So now, now this is what I think Kenny's talking about. Because they come from Sirius B, and they also come from Saturn. So it's kind of like they come from Compton, but they also got some peoples in Long Beach. Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, no. The reptilians came from Saturn. My bad. The reptilians come from Saturn. And the Anunnaki come from Sirius B.
If we're going to try to actually get into some of these narratives, bruh, you gotta lay that thing. It can't be. Oh yeah, wait a minute. That's right. And wait a minute,
because there's so many different aliens that are somewhat on this planet and stuff.
Well, you know what? I don't disbelieve that. That's for sure. I don't believe nothing, but I don't disbelieve that.
But the Anunnaki is the one so we all are descendants of the Anunnaki. All of us people.
Hey, Supreme, man. All right, let me come back to Earth. Supreme.
Yo.
Do you know what an Anunnaki is? Have you ever heard of the Anunnaki? Is this something that's even in your cipher? Like,
it's not in my cipher. I never heard of it until today.
oh.
I don't really even deal with too much going on the planets outside of Earth. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I'm the same way. I don't really deal with anything on other planets either. None.
Like,
I haven't not in a while.
Outside of Men in Black, the movie, I never even thought of alien life like that.
Listen, I love your honesty and innocence on the topic.
I'm just listening and learning.
No, listen, that's real rap. Listen, man, I heard about this I heard about these Anunnaki, these beings called the Anunnaki back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I heard about this dude, Christopher Sitchins. I looked at some of his work, read some of his work, saw some of his videos that you could probably still watch on YouTube or something like that. And it was interesting stuff because this is supposedly pre-Kemet, pre-Egypt. So Kemet is Egypt, pre-Kemet. So Samaria happened before Kemet. That's why I got my attention, because they always talk about Egypt and or Kemet, same thing, but it's really called Kemet, being one of the oldest civilizations, especially one of the oldest intelligent civilizations. Well, Samaria was quite intelligent too, and it came before, and they also have statues and whatnot. Now, Samaria is like Iraq.
It's Iraq. That's why they invaded Iraq.
Kenny.
And got
Wait, slow down. So say, don't do that. See, don't. First of all, you're gonna get us kicked out of these good folk. These is good folk over here, YouTube. These is good YouTube folk. Don't get us. Kenny already said don't eat no watermelon and chicken. These good folk.
Don't perpetuate stereotypes, champ.
Now check this out, Kenny. But hey, Hassan, don't go too fast. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I see why you ain't got no lady, my nigga. Pause. I'm just saying, my nigga, like.
I'm doing shadow work. That's why I don't have a lady.
Like, I see why, like my nigga, like, slow down, my nigga. Like, pause. Check this out. Kenny, Sumeria came before, chronologically, Egypt, aka Kemet. So, and there are artifacts. Now, this is the crazy part. This is the crazy part. And I talked to Hassan about this a couple days ago. So I learned about some of this. Oh my God, I'm looking at one of the pictures right now, as a matter of fact. I learned about some of the Sumerian stuff in the early 2000s. And around 2010, I had to come to LA. I came to LA for something. And I'm riding down Highland, just about to pass Hollywood and Highland. Anybody knows the topography, they know what I'm talking about. On the right-hand side is a big wall, or at least back then it was. And it had a huge Sumerian carving on it. And it like shook me to the core, because I was just like, yo, why would there be a huge Sumerian carving on the side of this Hollywood ass wall? Like, what? And I thought to myself, oh, of course, there's a Sumerian carving on the side of Hollywood. But of course. Now, I'm just going to leave it there. Some of y'all know what I'm saying. And some are just like, what? Who is Samaria? Is she from Atlanta? Because I know a girl named Samaria. Hey, Cronus, man. Time to fess up, bro. Because you know your name is ill, literally. And your name is Cronus, which is Saturn, which he said some of the Anu is from Saturn, got people on Saturn.
The reptile.
Oh, that's right. He corrected it. But see how when you gave out disinformation, I took that in and I remembered the disinformation. You see that? No, the reptiles is from Saturn. Are you reptile, brother? Do the reptiles got beef with the Anunnaki? Or y'all good?
Cronus the reptile. That's deep.
That's
deep.
Hey, born this way. Born this way.
Word to Cookie Crew. So nah, ain't no beef here. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Anunnaki, man. It's a movie. It's a movie called Anunnaki as well.
Really?
And they talk. Yeah,
that's not a documentary.
Nah, well,
I mean, I've seen documentaries with
I think
Anunnaki in the title, but
honestly, so I think it's a movie, but I don't know. I gotta check. But I did see it before. I never watched it, but I seen it, and they were talking about about as far as back as what, like close to 500,000 years ago,
Yep.
with the whole situation and whatnot, and how it's kind of celestial.
no.
Yeah, so I mean,
Wow.
and if they're posted up in Hollywood, then hey,
Bro, first,
I
Holly
mean,
weird.
let's not even go there. Let's not even
Holly,
dive in, because that would.
Holly weird.
I hope the alien is that the alien agenda? Is that okay? Cool, Kenny. Here we are, man. Here we
Here
are.
we are. Are we
you
here?
asked for this. This is what you asked for. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
asking, are we here? I'm leaning in. I've been leaning in. It's funny. Hassan sent me some videos,
Yep.
and I was looking at the videos, and from the videos, they're describing the Anunnaki a little different.
No.
They definitely did.
Well, how do
And
they describe the Anunnaki? What are they saying? Who
well,
are the
then you
Anunnaki?
have to get into the realms,
Wow.
Earth's real name,
Okay.
Yep.
the
Planet
galaxies and the
Kai.
galaxy. I'm not even going to begin to try to explain it. I mean, I just touched in on it, and what one gentleman was describing as being part of what the Anunnaki built or did. My leaning question is, are the Anunnaki friend or foe?
Wow. That's a good question, because Hassan, you've articulated that the
Oh, yes,
Anunnaki
right.
came here and created some beings, but they had us with them as their servants. Well, hold up.
Like we were their space pets.
Hold up. I you know what I mean, Akinelli, I ain't flying around in your ship with you on some, pet me down. Like, nah, dog. You know what I mean? Yeah, they might be 12 feet tall, and I know I might look like nah, I'm good, dog. Go ahead, no, I'm good. Come on with us. Nah, I'm good. We're going over it. Nah, I'm good, homie. I'm your pet. I'm good, my nigga. Speak to me like
So
a
that's what I
motherfucking
wondered.
being.
Are we Anunnaki, or are we just
No,
their space
Hassan
pets?
said we're their butlers.
We're descendants of the Anunnaki. We are descendants of the Anunnaki.
Now, Hassan, get it right, because one of these times you said that we were their butlers.
The GGs and stuff, but we're still as descendants of them. The GGs.
Oh, you're saying we're descendant butlers? We're butler descendants.
Yes, they made us and stuff. They made us. So these
but how are we their descendants then if they made us? Like, what?
I don't understand that either, though, brother. But we're still part of them, even though they made us. They're part of us. We're the God with.
Are you saying that they put some of their DNA in us? Pause.
Yes, they got their DNA in us.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that otherwise we'd be running around here like regular ass monkeys and gorillas?
Yes.
If we didn't have a piece of this interesting thing that clearly we have on this planet, other than most of the other animals, is that what you're saying?
We're made totally different, where we have souls and the other people don't have souls. Only 15% of the species on this planet, humans, have souls. 15%.
See, that's a crossover into. I'm seeing what Kenny's saying now. You be taking it, that's a crossover right there.
That's what I'm saying. Each layer builds on top of a layer.
What I'm saying is we're actually better than them, because we have the Kundalini. We have the Kundalini spirit and stuff, our souls and stuff, and our chakras and stuff.
That's setting up a show that we talked about for next week. That's setting that up, because I can't espouse to that, because better than, if it's all, how is it better than? If it's all, how is any part of it better than if it's all?
And other people don't have souls. They don't have consciousness. We have consciousness. The melanated people on this planet.
How you know Supreme got consciousness, bro? How you know Primo over there got Primo be doing parties every weekend?
I'm gonna tell you, to make it clear, if a brother can dance, that means they have a soul. They have rhythm. That's that simple.
That's kind of deep, but I can't even necessarily even fight that.
I can't subscribe to that. I can't. because
but there's something about rhythm. Hold up, Chris, man. Hold up,
So-
Cronus. Hold up,
it's something about having natural rhythm.
We said earlier, no giggling. Niggas is in here giggling today, man. No giggling for grown men. You understand me?
They ain't
Brother,
giggling.
Cronus, I'm asking you, like, huh?
I got soul, cuz.
You see, that's the thing. Chris Cronus is a dancer. Oh, this nigga will cut the rug on you. Oh yeah, he will. Oh, don't make me attach a video to this video right about here.
You could.
He's a big buff dude, always dancing and shit, huh?
Don't make me attach a recent video of this nigga on a Saturday morning cutting the sidewalk up.
I seen that video.
Dude.
Killing it.
I seen that video. Killing it.
Killing it. And I break dance. So you know what I'm saying?
So basically, Kenny, he's saying it is something to having a soul and being able to dance. Like I will say this, Kenny, you got rhythm because I done see you at a house party. I done see you at the house party.
Again, we getting sidetracked.
Nah. So think
there.
about it.
I'm not gonna let you sidetrack me on
the
that.
Anunnaki gave niggas rhythm.
Nah, so think about it. Think about it.
Are we their descendants? Because I have a daughter, and she is my daughter. She's my direct child.
Wow.
But you're telling me we're descendants of them, but we sounded more like pets.
Wow.
I'm
not telling you that.
We wasn't pets. We just mined the gold. When they came to this planet, they came here to mine gold.
So again,
mine gold.
So we basically, what you're saying is we were made in the frying pan, then we jumped out in the fire of them other white people right there, made us to mine and dig too. So again, are those Anunnaki friend or foe? I mean,
so when they say we're made in the image of gods, they were talking about the Anunnaki. We were made in the image of God. They talking about the Anunnaki. We were made in the image of God.
Now you crossing the Bible over on you. Oh God, what is going on?
Hold on.
That's a biblical crossover.
They made us so we can work for them.
That's what he said.
They made us so we can work, but at the same time, they also made us in the image of them as gods. I mean,
were they working?
They didn't want to do the work,
or were we the workers?
We were the workers. The GGs were the workers. We were the workers. We worked.
So the clay and the rib thing didn't happen?
No, that shit's all fake.
Wow.
That shit's all.
But that gets into
no Garden of Eden.
Wow.
No, the Garden of Eden actually would be like the Americas would be the Garden of Eden, or that's what the Garden of Eden is supposed to represent. So, because every life came from women, it didn't come from men. So ain't no such thing as a man sprouting off a woman. Life comes from women. Period. Period. It comes. They used to. I know you don't agree with it, but
ridiculous. You know why you're being ridiculous?
We're their first creation.
That's why this is Return of the Matriarch is based on the woman.
Hold on,
the woman of power.
Hassan is making me go in a million different directions. But I have a question, Supreme.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember sea monkeys?
Yeah.
You remember sea monkeys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold that. Hey, Cronus. You a little younger. Do you remember sea monkeys, my niggas?
I heard of them, but I think that was a little bit before me.
You know, it was some 80s ass ish. Hassan, do you remember sea monkeys?
I do not. I didn't do that. Sorry.
He just poured the milk first.
Yeah, he was somewhere.
Oh, you know what?
He was somewhere pouring the milk.
Go ahead with this, okay? I have something. I just was thinking about this milk shit that y'all been tripping off of. When y'all go to the sushi restaurants, do you put the soy sauce in first or
the wasabi?
The wasabi.
I put the wasabi on first, homie.
So why can't you put the milk and then add the fucking what's the name?
The wasabi would be the equivalent of the milk. The damn soy sauce. What are we doing?
The wasabi is the cereal and the milk is the soy sauce. why is it cool
Duh.
to do it that
And
way?
like I said, I
but
put
we
the
can't
cereal
do it
in
the
first.
other
What are
way?
we doing? What are we doing right now?
But
Okay.
you just said you put
Okay.
the soy
Okay.
sauce
Going
first,
left.
then the wasabi.
Kenny,
First
do
left.
you remember sea monkeys?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll give you a story on that.
Okay. So
I want you to
check
say
it out.
what you're saying, and I'll tell you what I talked to my wife about today
No, well, hold on
involving sea
for 2
monkeys.
seconds. No doubt. We're going to get it. But look, here's the point. If we can have sea monkeys, which for ladies and gentlemen, the youth that don't know what that is, sea monkeys, they sold them at toy stores, first of all, like toy stores or Kmart.
Yeah, I was
And
just
you'd
about to
buy this
ask.
package, and it was a package of what looked like powder. It was just like powder. And they told you to get a little aquarium. Sometimes they sold a little aquarium with it. You put the water in the aquarium. Remember this, Supreme? And then you put the packet inside the water. Now, you wait about maybe 30 minutes, and you got little beings floating around, not just swimming. I'm sorry, swimming around. Little
No, you had to wait longer than
beings.
that.
Huh?
You had to wait longer than that.
Oh, listen, don't pin me down
You know how
on
many
the
fish
time.
tanks I have that dried up waiting for the sea monkeys to appear?
Well, no, that I actually saw. I mean, I bought them a few times. It happened. Like, you never saw it appear?
Hell no.
Oh no, brother. No, what it is?
Not saying that they ain't real.
No,
They
and what is it? Well, okay. Well, what it looked like on the package, it was supposed to be like people. That's not what it is. What it is like a shrimp type of life form, right? It really is a life form. The point I'm making is that we were capable of making a life form dormant, putting it in a package, putting it on a shelf, and then somebody taking it off, adding water, and those things coming back to animated life. I did that myself. Nobody can tell me. I've done that myself. So why can't we be that to the Anunnaki? But why can't something made us? Something made
water.
Well, here's what I said today. So from my reading, my shadow work.
Shadow.
So from my reading, seriously, I took it that the Anunnaki came, brought us almost like their pet, and now you go and get the sea monkey. I actually made the analogy. Now you had us as your number one pet, then you bring in the sea monkey and made them your number one pet. I didn't understand. I'm not understanding how, if the Anunnaki or we're descendants of them, how they kind of left us to be subverted.
I think you could stop right at left us. Like Hassan, if we are their, Farnsworth Bentleys, why would they leave us? Why would Puffy leave us?
The other people on this planet, like the reptilians and the Palladians, are against the Anunnaki. All right. So the Caucasians are getting helped by the Palladians and the reptilians. The reptilians are the ones that's helping them right now.
And the reptilians are from Saturn, you said, yeah? Reptilians from Saturn.
Yeah, that's who they worship. That's what everybody worship, people from Saturn.
See,
now,
but that's what
wait a minute. Kenny,
because
he has somewhat of a point right here. You
Hold
can
on,
look
Dom.
at logos. You can look at corporation logos.
Well,
Ton of them are Saturn, bro. Like a ton of them are either the sun or a sun with a ring around it.
Or
but here's where I'm
having problems. Saturn worshiper too. The cube.
From what I looked at, the Anunnaki were the builders of all of this.
They built everything. Everything.
So they built everything. But yet you're telling me the reptilians and the Saturn people overtook them.
The reptilians are the Saturn people. I'm getting it straight now. The reptilians are the Saturn people.
Yeah.
They are. But
they were keeping up with this, Cream?
They left.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have a quiz at the end.
But if you if you're the Anunnaki, again, it seemed like they go places, they put things down, and then they roll out and leave it to chaos.
Oh,
so you seen that movie, The Eternals, right? When they was talking about how they had to seed the planet in the Eternals, they have to seed every planet and stuff, and then they move on. That's
Kenny, would you talk so loosely about Jesus? Watch your mouth, Kenny. We don't know. Listen, place your bet. Place your bet correctly.
Here's the thing. I don't, and you're not going to compare this to that.
How you not? Why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not comparing this to that because I'm not going to begin to say one is real and one isn't. It's all what you believe and what you have faith in. So I can't say if Anunnaki are real any more than I can say that God and Jesus is real. I can only tell you what I believe.
You can. You can say neither one of them ain't real or both of them real. You can say whatever you want to say. You can say whatever you can,
but I can only tell you what I believe. I can't tell you what's exact for 100%.
I got it.
What I'm just saying is the questions I have from what I've been looking at and different people having a slightly different variation. If you like to say the all, if I'm the beginning and the all and I created it all, does Frankenstein's monster now become the leader? Like Dr. Frankenstein created a monster, and you're telling me that monster took over Dr. Frankenstein? Is that what you're telling me?
Can I answer that question?
Please.
Answer that.
Please.
So, who created? So, we used to live on this planet we used to live like 7,000 years. We didn't age anything like that. The melanated people was not but melanated people on this planet. Period. We would live for 7,000 years, and we will wait for 7,000. We'd be like we're 32 or something like that if we didn't age. But it was all harmony and stuff. And the education was different. The whole life was different. They didn't have different animals on this planet. They didn't have like a lot of like rats and insects and stuff like that. The Caucasians, the one that brought that to this planet, based on the Yakub. That Yakub invented the white people based on the experiment to be our
Are you saying that white people brought rats to planet Earth?
They brought who they were. Not they didn't bring it to the planet.
I'll be on it with you. I'll be chugging with you, and then you'll say something like, "Yeah, the white people brought the rats to planet Earth."
First of all, it's their nature of their lower self. They're opposite of us. We supposed to resonate at a higher frequency. They resonate at a lower frequency. They supposed to be the opposite.
I know some folks that call themselves black that got rats too.
I understand that, but that's because we live in this construct with them at this point. But they're supposed to be the opposite of us. The sun is supposed to be for us, and the moon is supposed to be for them.
You know what?
So the Yakub made them. Yakub made them.
Wouldn't the Anunnaki have made the sun and the moon?
Oh,
they did, but they made it for the Caucasians. They made the moon they used to be actually 3 suns on this thing, but they made the moon for the Caucasians. That's their energy.
Well, I know that Saturn used to be considered a sun. What's the third sun you're talking about?
No, the real sun. They used to be 3 suns.
I know that Saturn used to be called a sun also.
I'm not even talking about Saturn. They supposed to be other suns too as well. Listen, this is the information that I hear, and I regret. I just thinking about all this stuff. Life is not what we think it is. We have been programmed to think a certain thing, and then when you find out other information, like, oh shit, because the whole thing
regurgitate, because it sounds like
that once you realize that we have power, then you realize, well, how are these Caucasians ruling? Then you realize they can't be. If we still have this power, they can't be. It's a facade.
Well, all right, well, let me do it like this.
They can't be. Let me show you something, Hassan. Right now, he's on the loop right now, thinking about like it doesn't sound right.
Hassan, let me show you something. Hey, Cronus, who's your president, brother?
Very rich.
Myself.
Oh, damn. Okay, like so. I ain't got nothing to say.
It's a trick question.
So let's move on. I'm not even gonna pose the question again but you got to understand about that type of understanding is that, man, once you cross a certain threshold spiritually, intellectually, listen, I'm not here to mess with y'all little game. Y'all can have y'all little game, but I don't have no president. All right. So my whole thing is, if you can have a president, this is where the problem begins. I promise you. I mean, no disrespect to nobody. If you have a president, then you're not handling shit. You're not. What are we doing? What? And then if you know how the electoral college works, you know that the president that you think you have ain't even the guy that you think. Oh my God, you didn't even vote. So, the Anunnaki. Nobody votes for them.
Yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying is that the Anunnaki story is fanciful. Hassan sounds like he's got at least 84% of it, down. I mean, you got to fill in the gaps. A couple of the concepts cross over into some others. Like, wait a minute, what? The green people are also yellow? Okay, cool. But no less fanciful than what you get. What is Islam? You get 1,000 versions or something when you die, is something like that? Does anybody know a little bit about what happens when you die if you're Muslim? Don't you feel like if you're a martyr, you get 1,000 virgins? Ain't it something interesting?
Yeah, something like that.
What's interesting about it? That
I think you get 7 wives.
You only get that if you become a martyr, or that they have.
I think it's a martyrdom. Cronus, come on, man, help me out, bro. Is it Islam where when you die, you get like 1,000 virgins if you're like a martyr? Come on, seriously, like help me out, bro.
Yeah, that's why them dudes blew up the World Trade.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 72 virgins, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I inflated it. You get 72 virgins. Mike, what up?
That's a lot of virgins.
You on 2 cameras, Mike? But good to see you both.
I don't know how that happened.
That's your shadow. That's your shadow work there with us.
Maybe I double clicked it.
Cronus.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Help me out, bro.
What's good? What's good?
The Anunnaki, man.
Listen, man. Life is life. So if they've been around for the last what's that 500,000 years, 450,000. If they've been around, they might still be around. You know what I'm saying? Like what they call them, sleeper cells. You know what I mean? Some people just sleep themselves, man.
Mike,
eventually
we up in here talking about the Anunnaki.
Mike, oh wow, that's such a broad statement.
Well, let's break it down. Mike, do you know who the Anunnaki are? And if you do, who are they?
Yeah, they have so many different legends and I just had to get out of there. Here we go. I know who the Anunnaki is. Yeah, there's one story that has them more as a protagonist. They come when the earth has had dire consequences like the flood, and they come to help out humans so that they can, make it past that terrible situation. Then there's an Anunnaki that's more like a dominant that actually is usurping our energy, harvesting our energy. Humans are second class or lower class entities.
Pets.
You've got all these different things. What do I believe?
Well, listen. Before you came in, we were discussing, the fact that one of the stories says that we're kind of like their butlers. We're kind of pettish butlers, somewhere between a pet and a butler.
Come on, dog. Don't sugarcoat it. That story says that we're basically their slaves.
But that was one of the brothers, and so you got Enlil and you got Enki. To Enki, we were more than that. To Enlil, we were just workers. And he didn't like the fact that when they created us, that they gave us spirit and they gave us consciousness. He wanted us to just work and stuff. That's what's Inky. He's the God that people worship.
What I read.
What'd you say?
He didn't want us to procreate.
No, he didn't want to procreate nothing. But his brother gave us all this godlike stuff. He gave us godlike power, and they didn't like that because they gave us more than what they got. You know, they didn't have the power to transcend and stuff like we do. The humans have the power the gods have the power to transcend. They don't have the same power that we got.
But you said they created us, but they don't have the same power that we have?
They created us, but they created us better than them. Yes. I'm just saying
I find that.
Why would you have it? That's what they did. And so you take, because you go around saying you're a God. So if they're the one who created us as God, they created us like that. But
I mean, you would want your offspring
wanted us to worship him.
He's better. I get that, Chris. You would want your offspring to be better.
Yeah, you would want your offspring to be better. You know what I'm saying?
But Lil did not.
No, stay there.
Well, I have a question. In Christianity, are you better than Jesus?
No. You
Nobody's better than Jesus. What are you talking about?
That's deep. Hold on. That's deep. So you're telling me in the Anunnakis, huh?
He's your brother in Christianity. When he's the Lord and Savior and all that, but he's your friend, your brother.
I don't think he's your brother, bro. I think he's your Lord and Savior. I think he's your Lord and Savior. So look, if I just popped into the universe and I was picking something, a little religion to go, I'd be like, wait, the Anunnaki, I'm their servants, but they created me like them, and I'm like a little better because they made me a little better, versus Christianity, where this guy's like my Lord and Savior and I have to serve him. Wait a minute.
Oh, you ain't doing all the math though.
But that was the brothers though.
They just wanted some gold. So they came for gold.
They came for gold.
They left you. They kind of left us.
So after we mine this gold, y'all gonna leave me to this I got this whole planet to myself? Sound familiar, huh?
No, you didn't get it to yourself because they created other ones that now.
Not at first though. Not at first. It was a planet to ourselves, and then that's when the Yakub decided that he wanted to create the Caucasians.
Who is Yakub? Where does Yakub come from?
The big head scientist. The big head scientist, Yakub.
Wait, who's Yakub?
The devil. Big head scientist. He ain't the devil.
The Yakub is the devil?
And Lil is the devil. And Lil's actually the devil.
Chris, do you know about this?
No.
Oh.
Wow.
No.
So when you worship God, when they talk about God in the Bible, they're actually talking about Enlil. They're not talking about God. They're talking about Enlil. So even though they have the face of Jesus, but then they talk when you worship something, you're actually worshiping Enlil. You're not worshiping Jesus. That's what they talk about in the Bible. Zeus and Zeus is actually Enlil at the same time too. So we're worshiping. Well, people are worshiping Enlil. That's what your energy is going to when you worship stuff. You worship Enlil because he's actually Zeus. He's God. That's the one that he created for you guys to. Are you
saying folks should worship the Anunnaki?
Something different. Like Michael said, I guess it's different.
No, you got two brothers. You got two brothers. You got two. One, the brother wanted us to have power.
Okay, we got that. We got that. It was like good and bad. We got that.
There's different folklore of it because it was.
Worship? My question is, should we worship the Anunnaki, Hassan?
People already do that already and don't know it. They already do that when they worship Jesus. They somewhat worshiping. And
when
Leo.
You say Jesus Christ is my personal Lord,
they're worshiping Enlil. That's who that is.
They're doing it right there.
They're doing it right there.
You're casting a spell, are you?
That's the person because they create. He's the one to create the religion and stuff like that to keep people enslaved. That's what the whole thing in the mind.
They do say, now listen, the mind
hold on.
is all.
Can I say this, Dom? If we were mining, just made to mine gold, wasn't we already enslaved?
Yeah.
That's what I asked.
Yes,
but no. Yes, but no,
religion is
stop.
enslaved.
Listen, you
It
know what, man?
sounds like we're
You know what?
already.
You know why? You know why? There's a little credence lended to what Hassan is saying about the whole Anunnaki story, and it's because this planet is a slave planet. Let's stop playing.
Slave planet. Yes, that's
Let's
exactly what
stop
it
playing
is.
games. And you can't even point to no era where it wasn't a slave planet. Like it's
That's not
always
true.
been some old slave ass shit going on
That's
this
not true.
planet.
That's
He
not
said
true.
we live like
That
7,000
lends
years.
to like a little bit of like truth. Like, oh, okay.
He's saying we lived like for 7,000 years, and when the Anunnaki rolled, it was just us. We were good.
So were we free?
Free,
So
but then
Yakub
that's when Yakub decided that he wanted to do his
So
experiment
where did
of
Yakub come
creating.
from? Where does
He's
Yakub
part
come
of
from?
that.
What planet is Yakub from?
He's part of the Anunnaki. I can't tell you where he's
Yakub
from.
is a part of the Anunnaki?
Yes, he's an Anunnaki himself too. He's an Anunnaki. They agreed to do this. They all agreed to. They all agreed to do this experiment where they talk about the opposite, the sun and the moon, the duality. They did that to practice the duality. So the sun is duality to the moon, good and bad. That's the duality. They did that for that, to see the experiment how the Caucasians would be in power for so long. And so they said it. They're supposed to be in power for so many years, and then that power is supposed to be over. We're in a time period where the white people are losing that power now. They're only going to live to 3,000. They're going to die off in 3,000.
What kind of people?
Sorry. The Caucasians.
White people.
The white people.
That's why they're trying to make with black people, because
that's why they're trying to make with black people, because they can't live on this earth because the sun kills them. They at first, when they invented them, they only could live for like 33 years. They were dying off.
We talk about casting spells, but if you're not going to change your motherfucking behavior, you might as well be as bad as the 85%. Listen, who are the white people? How are you white?
If you don't have carbon, you consider white. So all the people who are considered white, you have the first people that invented were the Mexicans and
you have people that look like this. Is what you're telling me? You have people that look like this?
No, not white like that though. We're not talking about that.
This is white. That's what I'm saying.
I understand. That's why I said Caucasians. I said Caucasians. You heard what I said. I changed that to Caucasian.
Not stopping the spell. Just continue.
I said Caucasians. Once you Caucasians, so they made the Indians and Mexicans, and then they made the Asians, and then they made the white people. Those are all considered Caucasians. Who made them? I mean, sorry, the Yakub made them.
The devil made, I'm just learning today that Yakub means devil. You saying the devil made Latino?
It's all a part of them making all the different other races besides the indigenous people. They made them to see the duality of us.
Kenny,
I'm here.
Hey man.
And he also made the different animals too.
Hassan, check it out. What's the difference between what Hassan is saying right now and what you learned as a little kid? Besides, and I'm asking you what the difference is besides you learning it when you were a little kid. What's the difference?
Yeah, that's a good statement. What is the difference?
Again, there's no difference. Well, again, it could all be fairy tale. It could be all true for him. It could be all true for me.
How does that work?
Well,
I like that. That's nice as an American to say stuff like that.
It sounds
but like in the real universal sense.
But if you really think about it, I can't prove this 100%. You can't prove the Anunnaki are real 100%. So you have to go with what you believe in, what works for you.
Nope.
Again, you can study and try to study this, but where are you gonna get this at? So essentially you won't. Maybe one day if you pass, maybe your answers will be there. Maybe you're sitting in the grave and it all comes to light. You don't know.
How about when they come back to the earth, when they come back in 2025, when come back, because they're actually coming back in the age of Aquarius, so they're supposed to come back within the next 2 years. That's 2025.
See, that's kind of crazy because I paid off my mortgage.
They're coming back.
Everybody got a comeback story. Jesus coming back, Muhammad coming back, the Anunnaki coming back. These are the same niggas. Y'all know that, right? Like everybody
Yes.
coming back. Like everybody got a story where somebody coming back.
Not niggas.
Nobody ain't noticing that. But you know what's funny about my little story? The
What's your
thing
story?
that I acknowledge every day does come back. I'm in Ra. Y'all playing games. The thing that I acknowledge every day,
You
thing
talking
that's
about
behind Kenny's head, the thing that's behind Hassan's head, it comes back every day, Michael. Every day. I don't have to pray for it to come back. Homie comes back every day.
Do you guys know,
You
the
know
sun
what?
used to
You
be
don't get
like
a day
red
without it coming back. Mike, you don't get a day without it coming back. What are you talking about?
You
Man,
can't
that's the
live
disrespect.
without it coming back. See,
Huh?
here's the thing. You can't live without it coming back.
Thank you.
Here's the thing about humans, and we're so myopic, and we're all in our individual, and it's all about me.
That's Kenny.
You can't
That's
live
not
without
true.
oxygen. You can't live without the sun. You can't live without the nutrients.
The what?
Can't
The
live
sun?
without- yeah. All of these things
What is that?
are here. The earth are here to enrich life, and not just human life. As you said, there's other creatures here too.
Oh, that's for sure. That is for certain. Hey, Supreme, man.
Oh,
What do the Anunnaki? What do you suppose the Anunnaki would want? Like what do they want?
I mean, I don't know what they're coming back for unless they come back for the rest of the gold.
Now what's funny about gold, since you bring that up again, is gold is a conduit. Good, see, like low vibration motherfuckers think gold is like nice to wear around your neck. Gold is actually a technical conduit, and dare I say, can also bring health benefits when taken intravenously. You understand me? Internally.
Yep.
Gold is actually a
it
motherfucker.
raises your frequency. It raises your frequency. All the Anunnaki and stuff is about higher frequency in a sense. Higher frequency.
So there is
that's why
something
they
to
can't
the
mess
whole
with us because we
gold mining. That's kind of interesting because gold is one of the most valuable things we have for a lot of different reasons. You know, the least of which being something to floss. Michael, man.
Yeah.
I was talking before you came in about the fact that back in 2011, around 2010, 11, I was coming down Highland, right about to cross Hollywood. And on the right-hand side, on the wall, was an etching of an Anunnaki picture that I had seen time and time again, you know, on the internet and in different books. It's like an Anunnaki etching. It's actually like a being with wings, and his arms are like this. And it was etched on the side of the building at Highland and Hollywood. And it just struck me. It made me really like recoil. I was like, wait a minute, man. Why would the Anunnaki? And it was huge. It wasn't like a little picture. It was like a huge etching on the building. I'm like, why would they have that on this building? What does that mean? Like, you're acknowledging this thing called the Sumerians, the Anunnaki. Like, you're acknowledging those beings somehow. Like, I don't know what quite to make of it, but what I did make of it is like, wow, they run Hollywood. That's just like what I said to myself is, oh, they run Hollywood. That's wild. Like, oh, okay. Now this makes a little more sense. Some other beings are running this crazy shit. That's why we have the technology. This shit didn't come from, come on. So, Mike, give me a couple ones and twos on the Anunnaki, man. What do you know about them? Do you think that they are still in control of this planet? Is this planet run by a few different factions? What's the deal? Talk about it.
Man, I've really scratched my head because I've been down two different planes, and I originate that when I came into the conversation. Are they the good guys or are they the bad guys? Are they here to help us or are they enslaving us? And normally you get the answer is somewhere in between. So the inky, the good one, you know, it's like fighting for our
always Pepsi and Coke. Listen, man, can't anyone see this? There's always Pepsi and Coke. Always.
So recently there was something on TV and it's called something about the witches. It began with witches or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, they made a good point. There's good and evil in every and all creatures.
I can definitely buy a bag of that. Yeah. Yeah.
So we can't be just stereotyping and saying, "Oh, all black people are ghetto."
That's what, no, but that's
all white
that's
people are good.
Hassan, listen, Hassan will give you 83% of some solid, and then he will go off on a dogmatic, like H University type of like rant, and just say like wait a minute, I was with you, and then you start talking about the gray people don't like mustard. What? We love Hassan though. So Kenny, man.
I'm here.
Kendo? Okay, so check it out, man. Before we go, and then you be like hitting me like, "Hey, Dom, we didn't talk about this enough. You didn't get this in." Hey, man, here's the forum. Here's the forum, and we got a sign pinned down. We got a sign pinned down. Ask him what you need to ask him, Kenny.
Is nothing to pin him down on, because, like I said, you read it, and Michael touched on it, that there are different stories of it. It's not a matter of proving it or not proving it. I said he dropped in gems that he did one or two today. It's the Anunnaki not from Saturn, or they were from Saturn.
No, he said they got people.
That's what reptilia
no, he misdirected us, because he said the reptilians are from Saturn. First, he told us that the Anunnaki had people on Saturn. Then he corrected that.
Yeah. So they was going to move there. They were going to move there, but then, the rental prices was a little crazy.
There you go.
But again, like I said, when he sent me some things. I was listening to different people. It changes a little. And my biggest question about the Anunnaki are they friend or foe? Because it don't sound like they friends.
That's what seems like everybody want to know. Are we cool? Everything cool? We good?
And listen, the Anunnaki.
But listen, wait a minute, Hassan, hold on. Some people don't get along with their own brothers, Kenny. So how can we?
They don't. They don't. And,
so
and
how
it's
can
funny
we expect
that I'm going through arguments with family trying to get a family reunion together. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if we were ever family. We were
disrespectful.
kind of sounded like. Again,
would you talk that way about Jesus? Would you talk that way about Muhammad? Don't be disrespectful, Kenny. These are all stories that you didn't write.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, but I don't remember hearing Jesus invented me or created me to mine gold.
But you do remember in the Bible, in a bunch of different passages, where you can be slaves and shit. You do remember that.
Yeah, but did Jesus tell you to be slaves?
He's a part of that narrative, homie. What you mean? He's a part of that play.
Again, I'm not here to prove one. I'm not here to prove one or the other. What I'm saying is, some gems keep getting dropped in, and we're talking about something else, and it's like, hold on, we can't just go left. Give him the platform to explain that. Like Supreme said,
he
never heard of the Anunnaki until we talked about it today. But almost weekly, the carbon and the non-carbonated people.
Kenny, you're doing us a disservice by not being on camera right now, because
I'm laughing and laying down.
Non-carbonated
people. We're not getting a chance to really bounce.
The carbonated, and no, seriously, it's not a matter of disproving or anything. It's gems get dropped in, and you're saying, hold on, let me explain that one. But we were talking about something different. So rather than go off the rails, give a man a chance to explain it all. Or not so much, you're not going to get it.
Hassan,
what's up? You gotta do your shadow work.
Give us a closing soliloquy on the Anunnaki.
So the Anunnaki do not matter in the affairs about what's going on to us at this on Earth right here. But they don't matter in the affairs. They know that there's grays, there's reptilians that's controlling us and stuff like that. They know this. And the Caucasians are with the reptilians and stuff. Like your president is a shapeshifter. He's a reptilian, allegedly. The queen was a reptilian, allegedly. So a lot of these people that's in power are reptilians. But the Anunnaki let this thing go down and let it go, whatever, let it happen. But they're actually coming back. That's why when you see that, you guys don't really, that credit card, what's that credit card where you have the red sign and the white and the yellow sign? The master is that. So that's supposed to be Nibiru. It's that right there. That red dwarf star is Nibiru. That's actually a big mothership that's actually in our. The mothership is actually here. They talk about the mothership being here. It's already here.
You see what I mean by new gems dropped in?
The mothership. Well, they got one ship here, but then the mothership is actually that.
You know, the craziest part is, let me just say this, Hassan.
What?
If a fraction of what you're saying is the truth. I mean, it's and what's crazy about what he's saying is, again, I study until I know. I'm not a believer in nothing. But what is interesting in what he is saying is, I'm sitting up here talking to y'all on Star Trek stuff. I got flat screens and devices that are wireless, and I can talk to people. Like, what he's saying is way more Star Trek and like what I'm living like than what you say. A woman got pregnant by a star. What happened? What? She was pregnant and she came home and told her man she was pregnant. Her man was cool with it, first of all. And second of all, she got pregnant by who? You see?
Was he cool?
Everything's fanciful. But I'm literally living in Star Trek. So that's why his fantasy kind of coincides with the world I'm living in, because it's like aliens and ships. And we got ships that fly in the sky. Like, in the Bible, they weren't talking about flip ships in the sky, or in the Quran, they weren't talking about that. I mean, they talk about chariots in the sky, but somebody was probably high. Bars.
So, okay. But, okay, so another thing that you guys may not realize, so you got, and Leo's people are the so-called black people who look like us, that's not us. That's
crazy. Now see that.
No,
so you're saying black people that look like us, that's not us. Well, how do I know that Chris is who he say he is?
The people who sell outs and stuff like that, the coon and stuff that you guys talk about, the people that backstab us, those are those people. That's how they were able to.
But wouldn't they just be making a choice?
No,
they're making a choice. Though.
They're not us. They're actually not us.
But I love the truth is,
but how do I know that though? So,
but it's hilarious.
I know every brother ain't a brother.
That's why you have the Moors and stuff when they was in the Americas. They're the ones that's fighting the indigenous Americans.
So in other words, some people
the black
are
people was fighting the other black people. The Moors.
Some people are Shadim and some people are not. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to. That's one of the things they talk about.
Some people are Shadimic and some are not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Kenny, don't do it because listen, I'm about to wrap the show. But if you got,
but this stuff is way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that, though. It's way
Go ahead, son. Go ahead, son.
What? But as melanated indigenous people, we're supposed to tap into our consciousness. We're supposed to be raising our vibration to a fifth dimension and stuff, not being in this third dimension that we're here. You're supposed to be resonate with a higher frequency.
No
but
doubt.
Most of us do not, because we are connected with worshiping things outside of us. Because even though those things may have made us, we still have the Christ, we still have the God inside of us to still resonate on a higher frequency. But by us believing in other things outside of us, that makes our frequency on this third dimension where we should be resonating at a fifth dimension and stuff. Like,
and stop right there and cut. That was it. That was great because it didn't leave the realm. I get it. I agree. I agree with everything you said. And then right there, boom.
Okay.
Michael. give us some lasting thoughts on what you know of the Anunnaki, whether you think that they're still here. Some folks say they're coming back like a Jesus or Muhammad type of vibe. What
Well,
of the?
according to some of the stories, they always come back like every 2,500 years
I heard that too.
when there's a crisis.
Yep.
You know, we can tell you one thing, that they left and they're gone, and there's none of their remnants are here because we can see how society has just gone out of control.
That's deep.
So, look, did God create us, or is there a derivative of God, the Anunnaki, that created us or made us into what we are today? We will find the answer to that very, very soon. The age of Aquarius is here. The light beams are waiting.
2025, according to Hassan.
What'd you say?
In 2025.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
listen,
shortly.
listen. I already know that you, Michael, are a derivative of God. You know why?
Why?
You have a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old son.
Yeah.
What you mean? What you like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, he wasn't here. He was inside of you, God.
Yeah.
And you, with the help of another part of God, created a third. 1 and 1 makes 3.
And so maybe down the line, I reincarnate into another part of me. And so, you know, maybe that's why I have to really train my son so he can handle the faculties of what I know. Bottom line here, we as individuals need a little bit longer time living on Earth so we can understand how this. I want my consciousness to last longer than how this body is supposedly last.
Oh, true
I
indeed.
think the
Well,
body
yeah.
can last longer, but I need my consciousness to last longer so I can make a dent in this shit.
I dig that. I could buy that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, yo, man, it's been an interesting one. Let's go around the room. Let's get some shout outs. Supreme, we done heard some interesting concepts today, brother. You understand me? Like, listen, me and you grew up in a certain kind of concept. Today we heard a different concept. Some people have a Islamic concept. It's a lot of concepts, bro.
Yeah, I'm like listening to a George Clinton record, man. I'm in
the mothership.
I'm in the mothership connection, Jack.
The mothership. I heard it. I heard it too.
Yeah, I was just listening. I'm just going through all my George Clinton lyrics in my head while we all talking. I'm like,
one nation.
The man is on to something. Funk Lord, the Funk Overlordian, but I'm the Funk Overlordian, man. I'm just. They say, man, hey, only thing I got in my mind right now, not 2025, July 1st, Milk Boy.
Say word.
The show of the summer, Supreme and No Experience headlining. We gonna try to bring the mothership down.
Yeah, man. Man, good stuff. Rip that up. Rip that up. Yo, Cronus, where can they find you, bro? The Saturn reptilians. Is that why you can lift 1,000 pounds? Because you're a reptilian, my niggas?
Strong.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just admitted it.
Catch me on all your socials, KRONISTHEILL, Cronus the Ill. Catch me at your local LA Fitness, getting busy on them.
Okay.
On the reptilian side of the game. Yo, Mike, tell them about OneStream, bro.
Oh, OneStream.tv. We are a community coming together to create our own voices, our own narratives, so we can navigate through these lies and deceptions. And all of us coming together is a force, because right now we're on an individual island and we think we're the king of the island, but 0 times 0 is 0.
Bomb. Love it. Kendo Mickens, Mr. Opposite.
He called it opposite.
Listen, catch me mining for gold.
Wow.
To keep the Anunnaki
happy. Wow.
I don't know what I guess we didn't get into that. Why do they need the gold? But
no, the concept about that is that the Anunnaki needed the gold for their atmosphere. That's what Sitchin said. Sitchin said that they needed the gold mine for their atmosphere consisted of gold, and they lived on Nibiru, like Hassan said.
Oh,
That
their
literally is the
atmosphere
story.
consisted of gold?
Yeah, sure.
So then, if
I don't know
they're
why that would
mining
be
for it, that means
far-fetched.
their atmosphere is depleted.
Right.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
See, each question leads to more questions.
Well, the question is the
How
answer,
can
brother, and you can
catch
pick
me
that up
doing
on
my
Amazon
shadow
Prime.
work, which is meditating within myself to get these Anunnaki answers.
Well, you know what, bro? Meditating within yourself is always the answer, because that's where you will pick up knowledge of self. Listen, the self is where it's at. All is mind, my brother, and that is not from me. That's ancient text. All is mind. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Somebody say I'm in Ra. Somebody know what I'm talking about. All is mind. So once you get into that, if you let that quote soak in, bro, it's gonna be problematic for everybody around you, because that's the thing. There's no religion for me to tell you to run to. All is mind. Now, if you get that, if you tap into that, boy, oh boykins, yo, son,
What's up?
we live,
we live, we love, we juice. I'd like to piggyback on what Dom said as far as with the power that the Anunnaki gave us, as far as our consciousness. We have the power to create whatever we want because we are gods. Based on us having the snake with the Superman snake, that's the Kundalini, we can manifest, we can mentally have whatever we want. It's all is mind. We don't have to think in deficiency. We can think in abundance and get out of that lack that we've always been in, because we have the power to control everything.
Wow.
And anyway, we juice.
We live, we love, we
juice.
Yeah, we do. Kendo, what's the call out? What's the calling letters for Instagram? Kendo
_ Kenny L. Mining for the groove.
Peace of mind.
See, that's when you need a cut.
Mining for one nation under a groove.
Ladies and gentlemen,
get down just for the funk of it.
Yeah, and funk that.
Mining gold just for the funk of it.
A riveting conversation with, folks with opinions.
Nothing could stop us now.
Listen, pick your religion, your politics. There's so many out there to choose from. Like that lady says, everyone's so creative. The sun come back every day, but instead of dealing with what we know comes back and gives life every day, we want something to come back so bad. Something does and we ignore it. We are psychotic. We'd rather have stories about things we've never met. People have lived their whole lives and still never met. I have a beloved grandmother. She lived her whole life waiting for a particular cat to come back, and homie still ain't back. And she ain't here. But the sun came back every day of her life. That's problematic, folks. Somebody gonna hear me. The truth is a problem. What? And you can't unring a bell. Like, somebody gonna hear what I'm talking about. The sun comes back every day. You want something to come back, right? I need my Savior's coming back for me every day. Every day. Am I weird? I'm a weirdo, right? I'm a weirdo.
Do you get in the sun, though, Don?
What's crazy is in the future, people gonna look at this and be like, what was the problem? And they say, why is that guy down there, the Saturn dude? Why was he like shaking his head? We shall see you again next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Opinionation.
Whoa. Before you piece it out, real quick. Mike, I know Supreme wasn't here last week. Mike, was you here last week?
Mike is gone.
No.
Mike bounced?
Mike bounced.
No.
Oh, man.
He wasn't here, though, no.
All right, so real quick, Supreme, let me ask you a question.
Yo.
All right, when you pour your cereal, when you get your cereal, do you pour the milk? Do you pour the milk first, or do you pour the cereal first? I'm just wondering.
Pour the cereal first, then the milk.
All right, cool. I ain't bugging.